Hey everyone! So, I was going to do a video really quick, just to kind of show you the type of stuff I did with this month's Sketchbox materials. So this was a page I did last night, just kind of playing around. So I did this Nubbin first, which I kind of regret doing the red over here because it kind of looks like he's got a head wound. But I was just trying to see how the colors blended into each other. I did a little more up there. So, and I discovered though the teal and the purple pen are really pretty when they're blended together. And that one like seafoam color that I said like, oh, I don't know why they put this in here because it's kind of weird. It actually works really nice with that. I think that's it right there a little bit. I also used it on this guy. I really like how this guy turned out. Just how the colors blended together and stuff. This poor guy, not as much. I think the difference is, so this guy, I inked it first. I did the outline and all the black lines first, and then colored it. And this one, I did all the color first, and then did the outline. And I just think, I don't know, it just kind of went a little wonky there. So that's the page I did last night. So now I'm gonna just kind of show you how these go. And I found out it helps to actually read the card because they actually mentioned, where'd it go? Oh, it said try using your water brush from last month to blend and create washes. I was like, oh, so that's how I did a lot of that other stuff. And it seems that the turquoise was not a coincidence. They said, we picked turquoise to pair well with the .88 pen in your May box. So, like, oh, it wasn't a coincidence that they used the turquoise that I like. So, I don't know. If I want to just show you just to play, or if I actually want to draw something. When in doubt, let's draw a Nubbin, right? So I'm going to try the chisel tip pen, which I haven't really done much with, although I've found out I've never done calligraphy before, but I did this last night, which I think looks really cool. And I'm like, okay, my calligraphy is not great, but for my first time trying it, I think it looks pretty decent. So, I'm going to try and do one big Nubbin, see how we do here. Okay, the chisel tip might be a bit of a pain trying to do the details. Let me switch here. Well, here, let me do the heart first. The heart might look good. That looks pretty cool. I'm not that familiar with chisel tip, so I'm not super comfortable with it. Do a smaller eye, try and leave a bit of reflection. I don't think these bleed. Yeah, they don't bleed. So that's definitely a plus. Make this eye a little bit bigger. So, we're going to go with my favorite color scheme I have going here. So, there's the art and graphic twin Zig. So I'm going to use the big one. And this is actually made out of rubber, this tip right here. Ooh, focus. Hello. There it is. I don't know if you can tell just by looking at it, but it makes a really rubbery sound when... I don't know if you can hear that. So I think the thing with these, if you want to blend anything, you need to work fast. Or use your water brush later. But so you need to do it while the brush is still wet. Or not while the brush is still wet, while the ink is still wet. So it's not doing a whole lot of bleeding right there. These actually bleed together better. A little bit. I don't know if you can see there. But I'm really glad that I actually read the box, not the box, the card that suggested the water brush, because this made everything so much better. I've never used one of these before, but it is really cool. So then if you want to blend stuff, you just add some water, and then it kind of turns your markers into more watercolory-ness there. Sometimes you have to work it a little bit. I probably should have used my other sketchbook for this, because my other sketchbook is a mixed media sketchbook, so the paper's a little heavier for watercolor. So, and I've just been using a tissue to clean up the tip. It's got a little, that's not a lot, I've had a lot more color on there, but just kind of wipe that off and that's clean. Ta-da! So I hope it's not too boring watching me do this. I may speed this up in post. But I've been watching some other art vloggers. Okay, it's just one in particular, and her name completely escapes me right now, but I find it really inspiring. She's done a couple videos where she just shows different techniques to use, and I've just been really inspired to do actual, like, art again. Which, that sounds terrible. It's not like what I do usually isn't actual art. Like, plush making is art. I just mean, like, on paper, like, I guess, fine art, you'd say. I don't know if that's going to be wet enough to do something with. So yeah, that seafoamy green kind of makes a nice base color, because it blends really nicely color-wise with the other stuff. The water brush helps it blend even more. So I'm just playing here. I have no idea what I'm doing. Just trying to make it look cool and not, like, crappy. Oh yeah, look at that. That looks great. So these two smaller pens don't have as like big of a brush on them, so it's harder to fill an area, but I think when you use the water brush, it kind of helps, because when you go over it with the watercolor brush, or the water brush, whatever you want to call it, it basically turns the marker into watercolor, which is really fun. I like that. It just kind of makes doing a watercolor looking piece. Where was I going with that thought? I'm sorry if I'm weird to listen to, rambling. This is an easy way to do watercolor. Like, you don't need like a lot of brushes. You don't need like rinse water. That's one thing I'm really loving about this brush, is you don't need rinse water. All you do, so I got a lot of color on there now. You can see. All you really need to do is give it a couple squeezes to get some water on there, and you just wipe it off, and it's clean. So I don't need a jar to carry around to like rinse my brush all the time, or to like re-water the color and stuff. So I just find that really cool. So yeah, I like putting the seafoam green color down as a nice base. Oh, it sounds so satisfying. I don't know why. So I'm just trying to... Okay, that softens it up a bit. I know a thing in art is like, we never really know what we're doing, do we? Like, kind of the beauty of doing art is that you're allowed to just play, and if it works, it works, and it's nice that it works, and if it doesn't work, you just kind of gotta try again. And one thing, I think I've mentioned this in one of my unboxing videos before, is I have trouble with the idea that I'm afraid that I'm wasting my materials if I do something that doesn't turn out the way I like it. I'm like, oh, I just wasted that page, or wasted that paint, or wasted that ink. Like, could have used it for something that actually worked, but like, you can't let yourself think that way, or you'll just be paralyzed. And I do get paralyzed a lot when it comes to just doing like fine art and drawing and painting now, is that I just don't do it because I'm afraid to. And the other thing too is, like, now that, you know, essentially my job is to like make plush, it's hard to allow myself time to just play. And I mean, right now it's, I think it's like 2:30 in the morning right now. It's probably almost 3. Yeah, it's 2:45 right now. Although in my defense, I went to bed at 9. kind of knowing that I was probably going to end up waking up at midnight or 1 o'clock, because that's usually what happens if I go to bed early. Because my usual bedtime, if I had to have a bedtime, is usually around 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock is my cutoff point usually, although lately it's been closer to 3. I don't know why. It's hard to shut my brain off. But the nice thing is that my my job is one that allows me to wake up later than normal 9 to 5 day job people. So I want to kind of have, there we go, I want to have the heart dripping a little bit here. So, I don't know, he looks kind of pretty. Or she. Is it a he or she? What do you think? I think we might be done with that. It's just fun making the colors run together and stuff. So yeah, that is, I think I used everything. I mean, I didn't use some of the other colors in the watercolor pen set, but I think you got the gist of it, right? I think. So yeah, the water brush really helps bring everything together nicely to blend more. Because I was kind of getting frustrated. Well, not frustrated, but my first thing I did was like, oh, these colors aren't bleeding into each other as much as I thought they would. Like up here was kind of an experiment I did. And over here, I'm like, oh, they bleed a little, but I was expecting some like serious blendage like on the original artwork that came in the thing, like really nice blending there. And so I realized after I read the other card that that was because they probably used the water brush. So it's really cool that they are thinking month to month about like, oh yeah, you got this thing last month, so try using it with this, you know? So it's really kind of cool. And I'm glad I actually decided to read the card, because I thought the card was just, okay, there's this thing and it's awesome and this is what it is. And I thought it was just basically like an advertisement for each of the products. But when you actually read it, they gave you a little more insight and suggestion. So, yeah. So, I guess that's it. I tried some, like, calligraphy as well. But... So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. This guy looks pretty cool. So maybe I will try doing another one at some point. I'll do a monster, like a bigger, like a more sweater monster-y looking monster. Because I've done some sketches of those before. And not just sketches, I've done actual, like, watercolor drawings, which is fun. So, alright, I will stop rambling now, and thank you for watching. Bye.